After spending 8 hours in Final Fantasy XIV, reaching level 17 and becoming sexually confused about cats, bunny, and dragon people, here are my first thoughts about Final Fantasy XIV. Welcome, Classy Crew, to the beginning of what will be a fully documented Final Fantasy XIV journey, at least up until the first expansion, Heavensward. Now, I'm going to be committing 1 month of streaming just Final Fantasy XIV so I can get through A Realm Reborn to really understand if Final Fantasy XIV is a game I will want to play all the way through to get the story. It's what I've been told is one of the best stories ever written in any media, so the expectations are quite high. I'm lowering my expectations because at the end of the day, it's an MMO, it's a Final Fantasy game, and it is 10 years old. So when I got into the game, I did 2 streams. I did 8 hours, 2 4-hour streams. I gotta say, I am playing on the Crystal Data Center Diabolos, if anybody cares. And before even launching the game, my community was like, first, you gotta watch trailer 1. So we popped in trailer 1, which I believe this was the trailer of the game, in the game, before Realm Reborn started, which is 2.0 of the game. Now, that first trailer, I honestly don't understand why anybody needed me to see it because it didn't show anything. It felt like a promo piece of Final Fantasy IP. Like, it starts off with these 3 characters in a bar, which I have no context of who they are, what their relationship is to each other, other than they seem to know each other. The guy freaks out looking at a card and suddenly remembers fighting a Malboro. I don't know if he's remembering or if he's foreseeing. Malboro fight, and then all of a sudden we're in the sky with these stupid like vertical devices. There's some really cool airships. I love airships. It all looks cool, and the music like crescendos, and it's like boom, Final Fantasy XIV Online. I was like, all right, doesn't tell me anything. I have no context, doesn't show me anything other than cool cutscene, bravo. At least in comparison, you know, another MMO I played, Star Wars Old Republic, that opening cutscene where you got like the Sith that infiltrate the Jedi Temple and then kill, like there's a huge fight that breaks out between the Jedi and the Sith. That sets me up to, oh, okay, the Sith sacked the Jedi Temple, and that actually kind of serves as the start of the story. So after that, I got into... Did we get into the character creation next, or did we go straight into... I think I went straight into the character creation, which I was honestly quite scared of this part because this is, on the one hand, it's commitment, but on the other hand, I like that I think in Final Fantasy XIV, you can change anything you want at any time, even if it costs a little bit of money. The reason I'm scared is because as a streamer, I feel it is important to be a little different, to stand out, to do something. But my base form is a very vanilla, and every character creation, I always go for the most vanilla. Like I basically build a character that looks like me or a very slight variation of me, which is just not interesting, but I can't help it. It's what I'm drawn to. I'm drawn to Sword and Shield. I'm drawn to characters that I can relate to that look like me, and that's just how it is. So the character creation, the first thing was coming up with my name. Now, usually in a game, I always go with Hey Jay, and I felt it would be weird because in this game, Hey would be the first name, Jay would be the last name, and they'd all call me Hey or Mr. J, Mr. J. It just didn't feel right. So I want to be a little bit more creative here. And thanks to an awesome recommendation from the chat, we ended up with J. O'Hay. So going back into the race, we've got... I went by process of elimination because I was like, okay, how do I do this? So the easiest was, and I'm going to bastardize every word you've ever held dear to Final Fantasy XIV. That's just how I am. The Hrothgar and the Viera, which are both locked behind the expansion. I'm on the free trial. So, oh, I can't play those? Perfect. I can tell you, I don't want to play as a child, so the Ladafell, boom. The Elezen are so ugly. Like they're these tall, lanky, I just don't like their proportions. So now we're down to the final 4, which was the Aura, which is like the dragon people, the kitty people, the Rogadin, and the Hyur, which is like the human. So out of those 4, I felt the dragon was the least attractive. I don't like the ears. I don't like really a character with scales. Like for myself, I don't see myself as someone with scales. The kitty people, I think the tail is what I was like, I'd rather not have a tail, even though, you know, the kitty people are very good looking people. And especially their starting wardrobe is the best out of these 3. So that was really skewing me. In the end, I went with the Hyur. Sorry, I went with the human. For my class, once again, I was really pushing myself not to go with the Sword and Shield, the Gladiator class. And looking at it, I pretty much disqualified the magic classes because I'm just not into magic. I prefer melee combat. Funny that I say that because I ended up going with the archer of all things, because when I played World of Warcraft many years ago, I loved the hunter, and I can say that going into the game, I've enjoyed that gameplay. Now, what I don't like, the archer seems, well, he looks stupid in the character creation screen. I just hate his armor. And I know that the archer evolves into the bard, which I don't want that. Now, if I don't like the bard, my plan is to go to the marauder because I love axes. So that's my backup. And I understand that changes me to a tank, which I'm okay with. So that's who we got. Jeo-hei is this beautiful, I don't know if he's on screen, but this beautiful man, which every time I see him in a cutscene, I'm just like, oh. So we get launched into Eorzea. And I got some context of the story. So the Warriors of Light, there was like this massive calamity 5 years ago. They sealed like Bahamut, I think, in some kind of weird crystal thing. And the land has been rebuilding for the past 5 years. So that's pretty much all I know. I get into Gridania, which is kind of my base town, and I got introduced to some Mughals, which so happy to see that Mughals are here. Interesting that I can see Mughals, but other people can't see Mughals. So I already know I'm important. I suspect I'm the reincarnation of a warrior of light that probably died 5 years ago. I don't know. That's my theory so far. Going into the stream, I didn't get straight into the story. I had some help from my community to set everything up. We actually spent 30 minutes just going through menus and suggestion like what to turn off, where the controls are. I ended up going with mouse and keyboard, but after talking and thinking about it some more after I finished my stream, I really do want to try the controller. I love like holding controllers. I just never considered that for an MMO, but I heard they did it really well in Final Fantasy 14. So next time I stream, I'm going to try with controller to see if I can get used to that control more than mouse and keyboard, because I do find moving around with the AWS keys to be very like stiff, and I don't know. I'm just not a mouse and keyboard kind of guy. Then I got flooded with friend requests, and it's funny. So I did my first like little introduction to Mother Mune. Maybe her name's Mune. I'm gonna say Mune, who's like kind of the mama guiding you in your early stages of Gridania. And it's funny because as soon as I turn around from like that quest counter to like go out, there is a crowd of like 12-13 people, which are all members of my community, just waiting there and like throwing off fireworks and welcoming to the world of Final Fantasy 14. It was quite a special moment. And then Blue led me around the town of Gridania to kind of activate all the warp points so I can travel more easily throughout town. And it was just like this big mob of people following me. So I was following Blue, and then there was just a mob of people following me. It's funny because when I created my character, I was like, I don't like drawing attention to myself. And then here I am just going around town with like a big parade of people following me. It was quite funny. Once I actually actively got started in questing and seeing and playing the game, everybody kind of backed off, left me alone. They wanted me to experience the game as genuinely as possible. But it was funny because wherever I'd go, I couldn't really see the people in my community, but every now and then I could see like one of them flying, one of them popping up, like running behind a bush in the far distance. If there was like a really like big monster getting too close to me, like I would just see 3-4 people jump out of the bush, like boom, 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 boom. While I did feel alone from time to time, I could tell that I was being watched from every direction as people were just kind of like making sure I didn't need help at any point. It was quite a unique experience. So I've just finished the attack of the Ixali on the forest. And so here's what I know so far, and it's not much. The forest is under attack. That's pretty much all I know. And the Ixali, which is like this lizard race, seems to have been prodded by these Bringer of Chaos characters that are named Ascians. They're like, for some reason, I guess, trying to bring about chaos, and they're trying to attack the forest or something. And there's two characters that seem pretty important called Ida and Papalimo, which are trying to figure out or investigating what's going on. That's all I know so far. So I know very little about the game or about the story. And this is where I'm being very forgiving, because if I had no context for the game, no context or expectation, I would be very disappointed because nothing in the game has hooked me yet. But again, my expectations are low. I wasn't expecting much at this stage. So I left off the game where now they want to recognize me in the celebration in the town, and I have to get preparations underway so I can be like the hero that saved, I don't know, the town from this attack or something. That's where I am in my main quest. On the Archer quest, I haven't progressed too far. I've made it to the part where I met a guy that looks like Tom Hiddleston, which he's really mean. He doesn't like me for some reason. I think he's a racist. But anyways, when it comes to quests, as per advice people gave me, I'm only focusing on the main story quests and my class job quests. I'm not really doing side quests because I heard, in A Realm Reborn, it's a lot of fetch quests. That said, my first impressions of this is it feels very much like a classic MMO. I've played a few before, and this is what it feels like. Now, I know I'm playing the part that came out 10 years ago, but it's very stale. It's very text heavy. It's very, I need you to go kill these things. I need you to go find a chocobo egg. It's not, the most exciting stuff yet. And I find the menu design, not the layout, just how it looks, to feel very old. And maybe it's just the style of Final Fantasy, because I'm comparing it to a Blizzard dashboard UI. And WoW, I think it's very attractive, the Blizzard stuff, like what Blizzard designs for the World of Warcraft brand. So all that said, I'm being very forgiving to the game. I do think it would be very hard for anyone to get into this game because it's not really too much playing to my final, it's not giving me strong Final Fantasy vibes. It's giving me very strong MMO vibes. I'm not getting pulled into the story yet because there's not too much going on. But we're going to keep playing. Another thing I do like about the game is they give you this hunting log, which really encourages you to slay things. Instead of doing quests, you get a little indicator to I like filling up bars, progress bars and stuff. So the hunting log is perfect for that. You get some experience boost. So I have to say, just doing the main quest and the job quests, I've been leveling up very comfortably, and that's how it should be. That is perfect for a beginner. Another thing though I don't like is I started off with some pretty decent looking armor, and everything I'm getting through my quest is making me uglier and uglier. Look at what I look like right now. I look like a sack of potatoes. I'm so disappointed every time I get new armor. I'm like, yay, better stats, but worse aesthetic. It's kind of the price I have to pay to, I guess, play a little bit better. So that's where I am. And then after the story, because I was playing this around Christmas, was the last day I could get the special event Santa outfit. I was seeing a bunch of people with it. I'm like, I want a Santa outfit. So I did the first part of that quest. So I got my first event item, which is the Santa outfit. Another thing I noticed is a bunch of mounts and stuff. There was a fat chocobo. I was like, oh, how do you get that? And I learned it's a deluxe item from, I think, the collector edition or something. So that's on sale. I'm going to be buying that because I am going to be playing this game for at least a month, and I want to have a fat chocobo. So it's on sale for 50% off. I'm going to buy that, get all of the deluxe items. So we're going to be playing with some good stuff. So where I'm at right now, just, I guess, my impressions of Ida and Papalymo, those seems to be the only characters that really matter here because they're the only ones that got a cutscene with dialogue. They're an interesting couple, and that's all I have to say. They really don't strike me, they strike me as important, but I just don't have enough to go on yet. I just can't really speculate or anything. So I don't know how this world is working, what the forces of power are, what the politics are all about, who's doing what, who do we have to be mindful of. I know even the Ixali don't even seem that bad. It looks like they're just driven to do something they don't want. So I look forward to continuing the story and seeing where this all goes. Hopefully it heads in a good direction. I really hope I get some better outfit. I hope my Archer storyline gets better. And I hope the story picks up, and from what I hear, it will. So if you want to see where I go next, be sure to follow along on this channel. I'll be uploading another journal as I progress through Final Fantasy on a weekly basis. That stream will be starting right after I finish my Monster Hunter 4U journey. So I'll see you then, and until next time, keep it classy.